Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a product review on the Black Pearl cast net. Some of you may have heard of this net before. Some of you may have never heard of this net before. It is the higher end premium net on the market, I believe. If there's one that's above it, I don't know about it. But it's an extra expensive net, and I ended up getting mine like 6 months ago, last year, right when the bait was born on the flats. I was throwing my larger mesh net, and basically it was just sinking right through the bait and stuff. So I ended up going to get a smaller net, and somehow I got stuck with the Black Pearl cast net. But it's a really nice net. It's definitely the best net I have ever thrown. Easily the best net I've ever thrown. But if you are familiar with Black Pearl cast nets, or you've researched them before, you know that these boys are expensive nets. So basically, like, you have your Walmart nets, and then you have premium nets, which are going to be about $100 more than Walmart nets. And then after that, you've got your Black Pearl cast net, which is premium on top of premium, which is $100 more. So it's around like a $300 net. It's pretty expensive. So yeah, basically my net is 8 foot, and it's a 1/4 inch mesh. That was what was right for me on the grass flats and stuff. That's why I use mine to throw. The biggest net I throw is a 9 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot. I don't go up to a 10 foot net, because in my 18 foot boat, there's too many obstacles in the boat. Then I can't ever get a good swing on it. If I'm in my yard, of course, I can throw up to a 12 foot net. But in my boat, anything bigger, 8 or 9 foot, I hit the chair, I hit the gunnel, hit the trolling motor, just something, and I find myself less productive with those larger nets. So I do a lot better just throwing an 8 foot net, and I hardly ever have trouble, even on tough days and stuff. But sometimes they're tough days and can't do anything about it, but most of the time that's not the case. But anyways, guys, let's take a closer look at this net. So here's my Black Pearl cast net, and you can see the horn right here. Very large horn on the cast net, and the braille lines. Here's the rope. Colors of the net is very reminiscent to the colors on the bucket. Pretty cool looking. This is about a 30-foot rope. It's really heavy duty. Once again, the mesh here is a 1/4 inch, but there's definitely different styles and stuff. There's larger meshes. This net is also 1.3 pounds per foot. When I got this net, the goal wasn't fast sinking, you know, casting off bridges and stuff. Although I have cast netted off the bridge in deeper waters, even in the channel, straight off the beaches and stuff, and got thread fins on this plenty of times. It works well. It just depends on the conditions and stuff. But the main part about this net, the main selling point to this net, is this right here. This is called the lead lines on regular cast nets. I am not quite sure what they would call this on the Black Pearl cast net, but in a regular cast net you have a weight, a circular weight, probably about 1 at the end every like 6 to 10 inches. You're gonna have a lead circular weight, and in this one it has like split shots in it or something, and then it's completely sewed over along the whole entire way. And the advantage to this is it keeps these braille lines from getting tangled. That's a really nice thing about this net, is that I never ever have issues with the braille lines getting tangled. And the braille lines not being tangled and being in the correct position and stuff is going to be the biggest factor that comes to throwing an open cast net in a pancake. This cast net throws like an absolute beast, and for as long as I've had it, it hasn't like changed the shape. It still throws just like when it was brand new. And usually cast nets with time, they'll kind of stiffen up or change a little bit. You might have to adjust your throw or something, or you'll have to soak the cast net in fabric softener to soften it or something, to like, because it will get stiff over time. It might start to throw a little different. But this cast net, like, just because those braille lines have never been tangled and it's just always maintained its shape so well, this cast net, this cast net is easily the best darn cast net I've ever owned. I'm gonna show you my other cast net for a second, my Lee Fisher cast net, and do a quick comparison. But here's like the braille lines on this. You could see they're still like brand new. They're hardly tangled. Like, they're not tangled at all, and they're still super soft. Beautiful. Now I'm going to grab my Lee Fisher cast net, which has the lead lines, and I'm going to show you the difference. Okay guys, so here's my Lee Fisher cast net, and here is the braille lines, and you can see kind of up here at the end it just becomes a big spider's web. It's all tangled up and stuff, and that is because the braille lines on a net like this, they get tangled much easier. And so this is basically the difference right here. The Black Pearl cast net is an easier net to work with, is easier to untangle. So it's pretty fast when it's just ready to throw really quickly, where this one has a little bit more work to do before you throw it. Like, you gotta untangle it and stuff. So that's one of the nice things about the Black Pearl cast net. Now, one of the things I will say about the Black Pearl cast net, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that's different about the Black Pearl cast net, is the net doesn't sink quite as fast as like lead line nets do. This one, let's say this one was 1.3 pounds per foot. It's actually heavier, but if this one was 1.3 pounds per foot, and this one was 1.3 pounds per foot, and they're both 8 feet, this one is gonna sink faster than this one. This one just doesn't sink very fast. I think it sinks a little slower because it has the lead lines in it sewed over, so it has more resistance. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've found on plenty of occasions that I actually prefer a slower sinking net. Not on all occasions, but on a lot of occasions, a slower sinking net you can get, especially when it's in current. You can throw up current of those fish and you can cover a lot of ground and it won't scare them as it's slowly sinking. But when like I'm throwing in like no current and the fish are pretty deep or something, it doesn't matter how good I throw that net, it can be really hard to get those bait fish, sometimes impossible, because the net will just sink so slow, going straight down. Like I could feel like I could eat a sandwich or something by the time it hits bottom. It goes slow, and then I don't get anything. So having a couple different nets for different situations is always an advantage. But if you are looking for the fastest sinking net per foot, this I'm probably not going to be the net for you. That's all I'm going to say. But they do make a heavier version of the Black Pearl cast net. So I've been talking about how easy this net is to throw, and how, you know, it's the easiest net to work with. but that doesn't mean that it's a beginner's cast net. I don't think it's a beginner's cast net because of the price, strictly because of the price. If you've never thrown a cast net before, this video is probably not for you. You're going to want to look elsewhere, because most likely, just being honest, you're probably going to lose your first cast net. There's there's a big learning curve to cast nets. You're going to find out that there's going to be dolphins that want to bust your net up. You might throw it into some structure. You might throw somewhere where you think there is no structure and you end up tearing your net up and stuff. That's happened to me before plenty of times, and it really stinks with this very expensive net. So if you're looking into getting a net, maybe get something, learn with something a little less expensive. So I am gonna plan on throwing this net to show you how it opens and what it looks like when it's fully opened. It's a really big net for 8 foot. I don't know why, but it just looks bigger than 8 foot to me, guys. So I'm going to show you the net as it opens. Stay tuned. So I do a double loaded throwing method, and like I said, there's plenty of great videos on the internet for learning how to throw a cast net. So I'm not going to go into how to throw a cast net and stuff. There's many prettier faces out there that could probably teach it a lot better than I could. This is just a product review, guys, so let's just do that. Alright, hopefully the camera is capturing everything. I know it's getting a little dark. Like I said, guys, this is the best throwing net that I've ever owned. This is why I want to do a product. Oh, I accidentally dropped the phone there. This is why I want to do a product review. This is just a beast of a net. It throws nice. So it doesn't even look like it's 8 foot either. So basically, guys, this net, it's going to be easier to throw pancakes like this. Basically, the only part I got, which I always do this, is I clip the little on my left, which I almost always make that mistake. But I don't know what it's about, the way I throw. I just always tend to clip a little bit on the left. But there's what it looks like fully extended. It's a huge net, and that is because of those braille lines. They hardly ever get tangled, so the net doesn't lose its distortion. Because it don't matter how good you throw a net, if those braille lines and stuff get entangled and stuff, you're going to throw nets that are in the shape of a Florida or in the shape of a Texas or something. You're not going to get the big, beautiful pancakes like that. It's not like an absolute necessity. It's just a real pleasure to throw. So if you were to spend the extra gold for this net, I don't think you would be disappointed on it. I mean, it would be very hard to picture anybody being disappointed with this net, the way it throws. It's pretty fun to throw. Makes you feel good when you throw those big pancakes. Yeah, that's basically my review on the Black Pearl cast net. It throws like an absolute beast, but it does sink slower, so keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that my review is based on an 8 footer, 1.3 pounds per foot, 1/4 inch mesh. So it'll definitely sink faster if you get the 1.65 pounds or the 1.9 pounds, especially if you get the one with the larger mesh on it. It'll sink a lot faster. Do I think it'll sink as fast as the lead line nets? No, but so keep that in mind, guys. Black pearl cast net. If y'all have any questions, just ask, and we'll talk to you later.